Hello and welcome to NaNoWriMo's, I guess I just messed that up. Bloop bloop. Welcome to How a Book is Made tag by WritingMime. It's an original tag. Question 1. Should you participate in National Novel Writing Month to create a book? Most definitely. One of the things that NaNoWriMo has actually helped me do is to make writing a daily habit. I write anywhere from 500 to 2,500 words a day. I sometimes take days off, but I tend to write every day. During NaNoWriMo, it's more fast-paced because you've got 30 days, so taking a day off isn't necessarily a good idea unless you write more than the suggested amount for a few days or a whole lot. Like a lot of people will do like 10K Tuesday or 5K Friday, so that they can take a day or two off or just so they can get ahead. Number 2, self-publishing or traditional publishing. I think I'd like to do both. I'm going to start with trying to go traditional, but I may end up self-publishing, but I would like to be able to do both. Number 3, write one idea at a time or write all of the ideas at once. When I'm writing my novel, I tend to go one idea at a time. When I'm writing down ideas or thoughts that I have in regard to my novel or in regards to other books I might want to write, I tend to jot them all down at one time. When I have finished with that idea, when I've actually put it into, I will put a little line through it and write down what novel I wrote it in if I didn't just go ahead and write it into that particular notebook for that book. Number 4, what genre is the easiest to write? You know, to be honest, I have no idea. I read a lot of different genres. I like fantasy, sci-fi, horror, suspense, thrillers, paranormal, romance, historical. I like all kinds of things. I read a lot of different genres. I read a lot of young adult, like Harry Potter, The Chronicles of Narnia, The Chronicles of Nick, things like that, but I would not necessarily want to write in young adult. I would prefer adult. Right now I'm writing a paranormal novel and a contemporary adult romance novel. So, where do you need to write to get the work done? I prefer to write in my own space. I have a writing room, and I can write other places, but I prefer to write alone. I don't like people hovering, and I don't like a lot of noise. I have ADHD, and the more distractions that there are, the harder it is for me to write. Where do you find inspiration? Everywhere. When I take a walk, when I take a shower, when I read, when I watch television, when I go places, when I'm around other people. Yesterday I went to the park with my daughter and my grandson, and it was really inspiring, and I actually thought about a scene that will take place later in my novel based on yesterday being at the park. Okay, number 7. What age did you start writing? Oh, I don't know, 5 or 6 or 7. I know I started writing before you could even read what I was writing. My mom said I used to write my grandfather letters. He lived in New Orleans, Louisiana, and we live in South Carolina in Charleston. And he would send me letters, and I would send him letters back, and he would send me little letters with little stories or little jokes, and I would write him back stories and jokes. Only it was more scribble, and then as I got older, it became more legible, real words instead of just scribbles. But I've been writing stories for as long as I can remember. Number 8, what's easiest to write? Short stories, standalone series. Short stories are difficult to write. I have taken a few creative writing classes back in high school and in college. I was on the newspaper staff in high school, and I've written short stories. I actually have 1 or 2 published, though I didn't get paid, and that was a long time ago. But you have to, they're compact. It's a lot of oomph and a short confined word count, and you have to tie it up without any loose ends. And that takes a lot of work to get it done like that. Don't really like short stories. I like reading them, don't really like writing them. Standalones and series, I'd like to write both, and I have no idea which one is harder. Probably series are harder because you have to keep going and you have to end each one with sort of a cliffhanger. Number 9, do you mill your books or take years to write? I think initially I am a take years to write a book, or take at least a year to write a book, but I hope to eventually get to the point where I can write a few books in a year. I'm not sure I will ever be able to be one of those people who writes a lot of books in a short period of time. Number 10, how fast can you type? About 70 words a minute. Number 11, do you write in the dark or in the light? Depends on what I'm writing. There are times when I write scenes where it's dark and I have a candle burning and a light from my monitor, and that's it. And there are other scenes where I have all the lights in the room on. Number 12, handwritten or typed? I prefer to write my notes and my character sketches by hand. I prefer to write my novel by typing on the computer. But when I get stuck on a scene or stuck with an idea, or I need to work something out with a character, I tend to handwrite in the notebook for that novel. Number 13, alone or with someone. Like I said before, I prefer to write alone. I don't like for people to hover over me, and I don't like a lot of noise or distractions. Number 14, any typing hacks. I have a notebook for each novel, and I have a story Bible. Now, in one notebook, and this is, I think this is my Good Witch notebook. Yeah. I tape pictures, glue pictures into the notebook that have to do with characters, scenes, or settings. As a matter of fact, I have a picture that needs to go in one of the notebooks now. And I use Scrivener, and I like their composition mode, so I can tune out everything else that's kind of going on. I'll put Rainy Moods in, which is a great app. It's on YouTube, and it sounds like they have different things. Like the one I like is, it sounds like rain, so kind of sounds like it's storming, and that is a really great environment for me. Number 15, are you already published? No, not unless you consider some poetry and some short stories from back in high school, which was 20-something years ago. Number 16, when did you first consider being an author? How, why, who? I already answered that, but I took a long break from writing and got back into it a few years ago because I was writing poetry, and now I'm back into writing fiction, and I'm really happy about it, and I feel like I'm finally pursuing my life's dream, so I'm really just excited about it all in general. Number 17, how many books do you have in draft form? Too many to count, but none of them are finished. I have completed NaNoWriMo, but 50,000 words does not a novel make. It's about a novella. And that's what this NaNoWriMo in particular is for, and then what the camp will be in April for. I'm going to use camp to edit or to finish, to help finish. Like I said, I'm probably one of those that takes a year to write a book, so if I can get through this month and get my 50,000 words, which I should be able to, then I will take December and January to finish up the rest of the novel so that I can take about a month off, and then hopefully in April I'll be editing. So, do you outline or no? I'm sort of a plotster. I plot the basic outline, like Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, and like those 7 main beats or 15 main beats for a novel, and the rest of it I pants. If I outline too much, then the pantser in me rebels, and I end up like wanting to toss it because it's just too structured for me. I need some sort of creative chaos to really be inspired, because I'm more of a character-based than a plot-based writer. Number 19, what's your favorite note-keeping strategy? My notebooks, like I showed you. Post-it notes. I'm a big post-it notes fan. Index cards. But my story Bible. But I'm really, really big into the notebooks. It's really, really, I said that. Oh, I feel so redundant. But anyway, because I'm not a real big outliner, but I am a very big note taker and very much into character, writing out character sketches and journaling as if I were that character and writing out ideas or problems with scenes or whatever. I keep each novel in a separate notebook, and it helps me, I think. Anyway, what do you think about writing in different genres? Whatever floats your boat. And that's it for how a book is made tag. If you're watching this, or if you watched it, 1, I really appreciate it, and 2, if you want to do the tag, feel free to. The questions are posted below, and the original, how I originally got tagged, is posted. So thanks, and have a great day.